All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to round three of the Arcane Series presented by Combat Step cEDH tournament. My name is Cop or Steven, and along with me is my co-host, MTG Hot Dog, aka Lauren. Lauren, what are you excited about for round three as we dive into this first pod?
Yeah, no, stoked to see it. I love seeing Dargo Thrasios. Big fan of that deck. Love to see it. Yeah, and I mean the tournament's really coming together. It's been we've seen spicy decks. Round one, the Jared Carthalion with Luris Companion. Round two, Borborygmos, and yeah, people have seemed like it's excited. It's been rounds have been going really quickly too, and the event has been seamless. So I just want to continue to go that way, and see what deck remains after round four. I'm curious how top four is going to pan out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hopefully, we can cut to that top seeded pod after this one, depending on how the round goes. But I will say, yeah, I agree. So far, this tournament has gone very, very well, very smooth. Shout out to Jace, shout out to J Dog, everybody at Combat Step. This has been a blast. Chat, if you're still hanging out, let us know if you've had a good time as well. And if you're not following Combat Stuff already, hit that follow button, show some love. And also, if you're lurking, thanks for lurking, y'all. Looks like we're getting ready to get our opening hands. First moles, seat one, we've got Brick Squad here with Kenrith the Return King. I love Kenny, absolutely love a Kenrith deck. Snazerific is back with the Dargo Thrasios that we saw in the previous round. Gomtroid is here with Atemna and Crom in seat three. And then we've got Lord here in seat four with Atraxa Grand Unifier. Atraxa Grand Unifier, so much value. Every single time I've seen it cast, it's going to always hit like, I don't know, 5 cards, right? Like, I'm interested in what the mathematical average is, but every time I've seen it cast, it's like easy 5 cards for 6 mana.
I'm sure
Like,
there's some formula to calculate that. I do want to shout out Zrob in the chat. Zrob is the father of the machines, creator of the Commander Tower software that this tournament is being run on. Some of the best in the biz, some tournament defining software there. This tournament is being run on Command Tower, and we have Zrob himself. And I think Zrob might have some relation to Lord in the bottom left corner there. So, kind of some hometown hero hype in the chat we might see. I think you need to be a follower for like 10 minutes to have commentating on the stream, but excited to see Zane Z-Rob hype up his guy in seat four.
absolutely. Thank you so much for building that platform. It's been a very, very useful tool. And yeah, that's why I keep letting y'all know to hit that follow button so you can actually communicate in the chat. Looks like we're still resolving mulligans here. So talk to me about Kenrith here in a cEDH environment, right? Like, I know Kenrith in a casual environment for sure, and it is definitely a Swiss Army knife of abilities. But in cEDH, is it really just 5-color good stuff?
It can be. It depends on how it's built. It can be a pile, just like Dimnachron's the pile of the best cards in those colors. Some decks go a little bit heavier on the Reanimator side of things. You want to make infinite mana with Dockside Loops and use Kenrith's abilities to put that mana into. I play a lot with Accepted Alex, who is one of the premier Kenrith pilots for competitive Commander, and it is a treat to see this deck in action. Swingy, it can come out of nowhere, and it can do a lot with a little. You have access to things like Culling Ritual, which I know we saw round one. Those are good outlets again for the mana. The reanimation ability, being able to reanimate from it's any yard, right? It's been a while.
Yeah, so it's any yard to that to the owner of that creature's board state, right? So you
Yeah.
put something from an opponent's graveyard onto the opponent's board.
I think anything that can let you play 4 decks in that way, you can use your opponent's graveyards to your advantage. That's something that deck can capitalize in a way that other decks can't either. So slow start from Brick Squad, Underground Sea Pass. Curious if that's holding up some sort of Vamp tutor or Mystical tutor that we're going to see. We have Dargo Thrasios starting out. Stomping Grounds, Manavault Pass, the beautiful old Stomping Ground art. Gunk Droid, flipping that command tower, no relation to the software, and passing. Kind of modest starts, I would say.
Yeah, very modest starts.
I'm about it. This is nice, good, fair magic.
So Lord here in
Another
C4, mana
mana
confluence
confluence.
into a mana vault, I assume. It goes into
That is a mana crypt. 3
mana
mana.
crypt.
Rhystic Study. Oh no, not
No,
using
blind
element.
obedience.
Okay, quite the way. So your opponents are already having slow starts. Let's make them even slower.
Yeah, that's the Wilds of Eldraine art.
I've never seen that art before. I don't think.
I was shocked. A lot of that art from the Wilds of Eldraine is actually pretty affordable for reprint value wise.
Very nice. Very nice.
Turn
Okay.
2, Brick Squad plays a Flooded Strand, cracks it. We're gonna go find a land.
Curious,
Yeah,
without having the tutor, what Brick Squad kept to have this be a keepable, looked like a first or second 7, but with only plays we've seen thus far are lands. I'm very curious what is being held up. That is foreboding to say the least.
I see. Because yeah, for a 5 mana commander, it's quite a slow start, right?
Not even just the commander. Not every. How do I word this? You want your commander to. You don't want your commander to be your central part of your game plan unless it's an active part of a combo. So something that I think is a pitfall that I've had the same pitfall with is like something like Timna Crom, or if I'm mulliganing just to play Timna Crom and a Drannith Magistrate gets played, my hand is dead in the water. You want your
Interesting.
deck to be able to win again, unless you're like Dihada. Dihada, your commander is part of the combo. It is a combo piece that you have in the command zone. Same with Dargo. Otherwise, though, you want your deck to be able to win and develop your board state without having to play your commander.
Interesting. And this goes back to that opening hand conversation that we were having earlier, right? As part of the things that like I think is pivotal to the format is really understanding what is a good opening hand and what isn't. And so I'm glad that we're like bringing that back around here to talk about what Brick Squad is kept and what Brick Squad is not not got currently.
Oh yeah,
Looks
mulliganing
yeah,
is the most important decision you'll make.
yeah. I feel like it's the exercise that you can practice. It's just like shuffle, find 7 is a good hand, shuffle it back, find 7, right? How far do you get? Um, looks like Snazerific turn 2 here plays land and passes. Same thing for Gonthroid, land pass. Lord here on turn 2.
Carpet of Flowers.
Oh, that's a carpet of flowers. Interesting.
That is the Johannes Voss secret lair.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, we have 2 islands. Just to 4 mana in the second main phase. I'm curious what is being kept. Okay, we have a Deathrite Shaman. So we're gonna police some graveyards while hopefully making mana. I only see 1 fetch in the yard, so we at least have 1 guaranteed mana. But we play Deathrite and pass.
Yeah,
We're looking at an Atraxa next turn, potentially.
we are. Yep.
1,
Net
2,
what? 2,
4,
2,
5, 6,
3.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, good setup by Lord. I feel like Lord's being opportunistic with the kind of advantage being given of they're developing their board states. No one else really is.
Yeah. Now that could also come back to bite Lord, right? Like because if you're advancing the fastest, you're going to be the first to have that counterspell, have that interaction thrown at you if you try to do something about it, right? Like if I were at the table, clearly seeing that there's an Atraxa on turn 3 coming, I hope I have something to do to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to assume your opponents, if they're not playing spells, they likely have interaction. I personally don't like the mulligan or tutoring for interaction. I think that is playing to lose rather than playing to win. And you have to assume, I think, if you're in Lord's position, your opponents have not cast spells. They all have full grips. They likely have grips of interaction. There's no other reason that I can think of that people wouldn't be playing their spells if they didn't have interaction.
Yeah, turn 3, Brick Squad, fetch to a land and pass.
Yeah. I'm a little perplexed.
Yeah, I feel like we are watching some loaded guns being pointed here, just in case somebody decides to pull the trigger first.
And like we could just be wrong, right? Like that no one could have anything, and everyone just kept slow hands collectively, and Lord might just run away with this.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
agree,
like
Captain Moral Support. That is a very good observation. Fetching for the Tundra rather than fetching for a red source shows me they do not have Underworld Breach. They do not have Dockside. They went for redundancy in colors. I mean, redundant blue is good, but white, I mean, cast Kenrith, maybe like a. No, you can't even cast Ranger Captain of Eos with that mana. I would love to know what Kenrith kept. We have a Vamp Tutor from Timna Crom. Never a good sign. Very curious what they are going for as well. I can't tell what that land is next. Is that Balin's Tomb? Is that the new ancient tomb Lord of the Rings art? What is that?
maybe, yeah.
Okay, let's see what
Dock,
spice.
there's the dockside. So clearly that was
Dockside,
vamp. I bet that was vamp tutor into the dockside. Gonna
Dockside's a
net one,
little tough right
two.
now, given that they will enter tapped.
Yeah, gonna net four. So not too bad.
3, 4. Treasure. Notably, Dockside is tapped as well. Not sure if that's going to be relevant.
Yeah, good point. I love the attention to detail on what the chat is talking about and what you're talking about with what can the lands produce color wise that would indicate to me as a player what that person might have in hand. That's something that I know I often overlook, but it's such a predictive nature and predictive quality of the format because you're able to gather relative insight, right, without actually knowing. Like the assumption is half the battle. But it's super useful in this moment to be like, well, I know they can't do this, this, and that based on
I
that
think
what they've got for color.
Brian Koval, Bosch and Roll, said it best. Your opponents will always tell you what's in their hands. You just have to be willing to listen. And that was in regards to legacy, but I think you can use that same mentality. Is that a Grand Arbiter Augustine?
It is a Grand Arbiter Augustine. I feel like this is a bait play. I feel like this is to bait interaction instead of going Atraxa turn 3, which is honestly a good play because nobody wants this Grand Arbiter on board.
Yeah, Atraxa being reduced by 2 also is pretty good. We have Z-Rob0, hello gamers. Yep, Lord is their local, and they're sick. Well, thanks for coming in, Z-Robo. I love your work on Bill the Pony. Really solid deck. Very sick. Captain
Yeah.
Moral Support. Sitting in urgent care. That sucks, bro.
Oh my gosh. Everybody's sick right now. Y'all take care of yourselves.
Well, I'm glad we're a source of entertainment for you. Thank you for entering the combat step. Let's proceed to attacks. That pun sounded better in my head. I don't know if it quite worked, but I feel like there's a lot of openness for it being the combat step. I think there's a lot we can work with.
Yeah, a lot of merch, a lot of jokes we can build around it, a lot of taglines for sure. All right, we're top of the round here, or top of the turn order. Back to Brick Squad, turn 4. Plays the fetch, cracks it. That's 2 fetches in the yard for that Deathrite Shaman, since Lord exiled the other fetch on their last turn. The Grand Arbiter did resolve, so
now they have access to red, but I'm still very confused. I all we have seen Kenrith do, and I know I've seen Brick Squad in tournaments. I know they're a competent player, so I'm just curious. Rather not
we're not judging, we're not shaming. No, we're just curious. That's what.
But
Yeah.
all they have done is fetch pass. Do you just did they just have the win in hand and we were just scared to do it? I don't know. I'm very excited.
Brick Squad's mat is pretty nice. Yeah, I do love the mat. Click that.
Ken Meyer Jr.,
Ooh.
original artist of Mystic Remora.
Phantasmal image here coming in as I assume a copy of the Dockside.
The Dockside's kind of hot because they can't crack their treasures in response.
Yeah.
I believe Fimage costs 3.
Yes. With the Grand Arbiter out, Image would cost 3. There's the
Judge.
We got it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's
Um,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 tap treasure.
pretty decent.
Yeah, chat confirms 8 tap treasure.
Zerob, you might be happy to know there's been a bunch of Eminence playmats on stream featured. They are very nice. They translate very well and very eye-catching, but that's been cool to see them pop up randomly. Ooh, we have the Dr. Seuss treasure tokens. Very nice.
Cute.
Um,
Instep of Brick Squad Beseju channel targeting.
Blind Obedience?
Ooh, yeah, the blind obedience, I feel like. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you just rip your own dockside and then
That's right.
you
Yeah.
make
No. That's exactly what I hope this play is.
a cajillion treasure.
If that is the play, talk about patience, right? Oh,
Yeah, you make 15 treasure. Sorry, 14 treasure. Kids at home, if you can't win with 14 treasure, it is a deck building issue.
mm-hmm. And there it is, Chad. Exactly as called. Dockside on the stack. Gontroid says okay.
See, this is what I was saying earlier, though. This is how truly format warping Dockside is. We have one Dockside, we have a clone effect primarily to copy Docksides, and then we have, again, another Dockside completely blowing this game out of the water.
Is that going to be it? That's crazy.
I mean,
Resolving the shuffle here for Lord.
6 cards in hand. If you have one of the altars, you can easily cast Dargo. You can easily cast Thrasios, dump some mana in to try to find additional cards. If you have a top deck tutor, you can crack it with Thrasios. A lot of options available right now to the Dargo Thrasios player. Hitting that blind obedience was a very patient play. You never cast your Dargo unless you're trying to win. I don't win the game, so I don't know that.
I don't win the game either, so I have no idea what to cast Dargo.
That's why we're here and they're there.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're on this side of the table and they're at the table. If you can't win at cEDH, chat, just talk about it.
Oh, we just have a hard cast side spout.
Wow.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, you like that. Okay.
Brick Squad coming in with the silence in response to the Tide Spout Tyrant cast. Oof.
Wow. Dockside Gaming. You have entered the combat step.
You
I'm
keep
trying it
trying.
out.
And I love it. No, I want you to keep trying. I love it.
I'm trying, Jace. I'm trying. I'm trying to get this for you. Trying to figure it out.
I love it.
Oh, it's gonna come
I
to me.
I heard the like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music where it's like do 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 do.
Thank you. That's what I had in my head.
Okay, looks like we
Okay.
are pitching a image to a is that Force of Will here?
Yeah.
It's targeting
Okay.
the silence for sure.
Makes sense. Notably, these treasures are counting towards Dargo's sack cost. So Dargo, you just need to tap that stomping ground, and you will have it's Dargo time.
Gongtoid passes priority, Lord passes priority, Brick Squad passes priority. Silence is countered. Ooh,
If you have a
that's
free rock,
that's a good try.
you just rip your dockside over and over again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can Dargo and then bounce the dockside once.
Noxious
Dargo.
Arrival.
Oh yeah, Dargo just costs 1. Yeah, you've won this game. Because Dargo's cost will always be reduced. Oh, even yeah.
There is so for instance here, the Noxious Revival pays 2 life and then cracks the treasure to pay the 1 extra for the Grand Arbiter, putting the Force of Will back on top of the Noxious Revival. So the Dockside is going to cost 3.
Oh shit! I forgot about the Grand Abolitor.
I also forgot about the Grand Arbiter. So now we have to consider. Yes,
well,
so
Dockside
we're
now
losing.
it.
He's still net mana. Like he could still go Dockside, and then the mana. Yep. We're demonstrating the loop here. It's unfortunate that the Arbiter really doesn't impact this. Yeah.
Or you just I mean, the other line that you can do here is cast Dockside, bounce the Grand Arbiter, and you are free from the tax. Dargo costs 1, you loop your Dockside and Dargo.
Oh yeah, also true. That seems like a safer line to play here.
Maybe they're trying to keep a blue card out of hand for the Atraxa player.
Mm-hmm.
If they think there's like a force.
So casting Thrasios, I think we have assumed that there's infinite mana. Thrasios resolves, Force of Will in hand, and yeah, whole library.
Is everyone just conceding?
I think they are. I think Snaz is going to sort of go through what the win is here, right? Like draw my whole library, but this is what I'm getting towards.
And it won't be draw the full library. I mean, you'll put the lands will enter tapped, right? I guess I suppose you could. You still have to manually do it because the lands will be placed on the battlefield. Oh yeah, everyone's conceding.
Yeah. Yeah, the lands are tapped, but you've got the infinite mana off the treasure. So GG's.
Interesting. There was the Force of Negation in Gonkdroid's hand. They couldn't cast it to protect the silence because of the Grand Arbiter.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah, that I mean, if the Grand Arbiter only, I think, hurt the Atraxa player.
Yeah, I'm very interested in what that game might look like if Lord had gone for the Atraxa over the Grand Arbiter, because it didn't change really anything, and the value netted off the Atraxa could have been a very different board state, but also could have just countered the Atraxa. So, I think Lord was in a hard spot either way that went.
I mean, that's the fascinating part about stacks pieces, especially in competitive Commander, is yeah, you slowed down the game, but if someone can just squeak the value out over you, you've locked out your opponents from interacting. You've secured your other opponent the win. Yeah, I mean, that feels bad because it's your own card that you thought that was going to propel you into the next turn, locked your opponents out of interaction, and actually paved the way. You kind of handed your opponent a win in that way.
Yeah. And that's something that we talked about in the Playing with Power tournament, which is when to add stack pieces to the board and when to not. Like, when is that play going to hurt you more than it's going to help you? I think the assumed mentality, at least for me as a newer player, is that, yeah, you just slap a bunch of stacks pieces on the board, but that is not the case. Like, you could be adding to the problem and locking your opponents out, like you're saying, from doing something, right? And that goes back to maybe it's table conversation, maybe it's just an elevated awareness of what is going to be beneficial and what's not.
Yeah. No, that was expertly executed by the Dargo Thrasios player. Well-deserved win. That was impressive to see. Made something out of nothing. It just shows you how good Dockside Extortionist is.
Yeah. If there's any takeaway, so far for me, it's clearly that Dockside is very powerful, and also Culling Ritual is also equally powerful. Any card that does a massive amount of mana gain in one swing is pretty spicy. Looks
Turns
like
out mana is good.
Mana's good? That's what a concept. I don't know. Seems silly.
Controversial, as I hate playing lands, but
all right, we are jumping into another game here in round 3. It looks like we have PKP Xavier in seat 1 on Bruges, Tarl, and Thrasios. Seat 2, we've got Slow Steve back in the stream game with that Dargo Temna. Seat 3, Mr. Skeletal on Obnixilus Captive Kingpin. And then seat 4, Neo Lexer on Kennen Bonder Prodigy.
Zane, Dargo Thrasios won.
Okay, it looks like we are likely in Slow Steve's turn here.
Looks like it. Looks like it. Is that a Boromir?
That is a Boromir. Yeah, Boromir, Dargo, Esper Sentinel, Obnixilus on the board.
Very high camera quality.
Yeah. Great.
No, it's nice. Like the resolution's nice. The tracking's nice. I'm actually pretty impressed. The face cam is nice too. Like being able to see
Hmm.
that. I think that's kind of the next step as these online tournament series grow. Is seeing faces, seeing hands.
Yes, yeah. I love the people who have been putting the face cam not necessarily on the face, but more on the where their hands are at the edge of the table. I think that that's super interesting
Mm-hmm.
to watch the sort of like social dynamic shift with the technology.
Homing ritual on the Dargo. We're gonna float some black mana here. You see, I don't think you're ripping an Adnaz into this. Stacking a Scalding Tarn. Another Obnixilus trigger.
Hmm.
I love that
In
Obnixilus. Thunder Thighs Obnixilus.
Thunder Thighs. I've not heard it
As
called
coined
that.
by Diggles. Diggles on Twitter, everybody. David Diggles. He's a big Thunder Thighs enjoyer.
I mean, aren't we all? Let's see. Smothering Tithe, Resolving, and all those cards in exile. We're
But to
checking to see
rip
what
a
we got here.
wheel.
Yeah. The Disciple, the Vault, and the Bergie on board for the Obnixilus Captive Kingpin player. That's interesting.
Curious. Curious.
Hmm.
Sacrifice comes 5. 1 black mana floating. Wheel would be hot, but I don't think they have the resources.
No, I don't think so either.
Don't move to discard and
We're
passing,
ask
it looks
we're
like.
asking cards in hand. Yeah, we're moving to discard. Discard the gemstone. Yep. All right, Mr. Skeletal, untap, keep draw.
Okay, so we have plenty of cards available. Those are all accessible too, because it's till the end of or till your next end step, right?
Yeah,
Premises.
it's the next sense step.
So we have a Lotus Petal, we have an Arcane Signet. Can't tell what else.
Place the land.
Is that a
Praxis.
Nazgul? What's that Lord of the Rings card above the Sokinzon? Oh, it's a reanimate.
Hmm.
That's a Warhammer reanimate, I think. Fetching. Dargo was Dargoing. That's true.
I've not seen a bruised Charl at a table in so long. Oh, goodness.
Bruce Thras. It's a great
Yeah.
deck.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Hellenium Gaming for Evo. Bruce Charles Thras. So Obnixilus is a chunky beater. It's 10th Trample in the air.
Yeah.
Disciple of the Vault, a fan favorite card of mine. I love that card.
Really?
Band Popper staple.
Yep.
I'm surprised PK isn't on Shalyan Halar. Shalyan Halar is a cool deck. Okay.
Another commander that just, oops, I went infinite.
Yeah. That deck also runs Dockside. We are casting 2 mana. I think that's a Soul Ring. Okay. I think that's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life, casting something,
Mm.
from one of the new Innistrads. It's like a 1/3 for 2. Whenever you cast a Kessig Flame Breather. Thank you. Yeah, and it was
Side.
casting
Thank you, Chad.
something. Shout out Soul Sleep TV. You've been a homie. So we have that, which, I mean, you cast the Lotus Petal, you're drawing 3 cards. Like every non-creature spell is now an Ancestral Recall. Granted, they're going to exile, but
Yeah.
you're gonna make mana off of the Bergie, and you're going to get card advantage while also pressuring people's life totals. That's a auto include. Also, you have the added bonus of the Disciple of the Vault. So if you crack that, you're gonna get an extra trigger and an extra card. So one Lotus Petal, represents 4 cards.
That's amazing. That's crazy. Are we still on the Flame Breather resolving, is what it looks like. So a lot of hand gestures going on.
Hand gestures means we're out of the combat step and into the politicking phase.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite phase of the game.
Slow die is finding a land.
Oh, we dropped a card. Uh-oh. That face cam really saving him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very concise player, it seems. Very methodical in their shuffling.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the shuffling is very, very clean. Also, PK having the biggest dice I've ever seen next to their deck.
Oh wow, that is a huge D6.
I just saw it. I was like, wow.
Did they fetch for a land? Is that what that was?
I think they fetched for a land, but I don't see the fetch in the graveyard. I'm not sure where that land came from, to be frank.
Well, your name's Steven, not Frank.
Yeah, it's true. I know. You're Frank. You're the hot dog.
Frankfurter.
Mr. Skeletal casting the Lotus Petal here.
Which will be Triggers Abound.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that copy artifact on Kinnon's board was for an Esper Sentinel. So Esper Sentinel triggered. Now we're representing, we have the Bergie trigger and the Kessig Fire Breather trigger.
Chat says every ob trigger gets one card when one or more opponents. So even if he hits all three, he only flips one. Interesting.
Oh, that's less good.
Yeah.
We're sacking the Lotus Petal, which should trigger Disciple of the Vault. Dang, I should learn how cards work.
Cards get pulled up. We just look at them. No. I try to do my best with like knowing exactly how the cards work, but the thing is that especially with spell tables, sometimes they're so small, you know? And everybody's lighting is so different.
I'm like every Magic player, I don't know how to read.
We can't read, we can't really do math, so I'm not sure why we're playing this game except to just like make friends, question mark?
No, math is for blockers.
Math is for blockers. All right, so playing the Arcane segment.
Trigger? We missed a trigger on the Lotus Petal from the Disciple of the Vault.
Yeah, I don't see life totals changing from that.
I think it's target
They're doing
opponent,
it now.
but called the Gathering for a reason. That's true. That's true.
Okay, so we did get the Disciple trigger. Ob trigger exiles a Phyrexian Tower. Not going to really do much since we've already played the land out of exile this turn.
Yeah, not great. Captain Moralsport says, gather D's. Gather D's what, Captain Moralsport? I don't get the joke.
Chat will be finishing that sentence. Not the
I'm
casters.
waiting. I don't get the joke. I don't get the joke, and I don't know what Blue Farm is. And we have our lovely Dockside Extortionist.
Oh my gosh. Who would have thought?
Count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess the question is, do you... Oh no, 7, Felwar Stone. I guess, do you crack the Smothering Tithe treasures in response?
I would. True. I think you do. If they're going for a win attempt, you want to try to starve them off of as many resources as possible. You do not want them to have those extra treasure. I got a Twitch ad, so I'm missing the stream right now. I am watching a beautiful commercial though about someone ordering a new cell phone, which is a nice treat.
Good for them. In this economy?
In this economy.
Looks like Slowsty is definitely... Okay, we're cracking the treasures in response to the Dockside. Floating that mana.
Okay.
Well, that's going to leave it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 5 treasure.
He can't loop wheels, but he just bowmasters in wheels and wins. Seems decent. Seems good. Are we still resolving?
Exiling another card off the ob.
GA bad card. Hey, Lord, you put up a good fight. That was a little brutal to watch, though, my friend.
Yeah.
Having
Never
a
talking back.
slaughter pact. Slaughter pact's pretty hot right now. That's a Kessig trigger that clears the way just in case there's some random thing that pops up you need to take care of. I like, if I'm up next to this, I really like seeing that slaughter pact in the exile. A free spell that triggers my stuff and it replaces itself.
3, 3, 3, 1, 4, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you got 6 treasure here off the dock side.
People need to stop respecting Winota. Interesting argument. See, the thing I found when I've played against Winota is if you just remove Winota, the deck has a hard time doing Winota things.
I agree.
Like you get one trigger. Yeah, I'm fine living in a world where Winota doesn't trigger in my game.
Dockside resolve.
Play
We have
real.
the treasure.
Hey, Captain Moral Support. Winota is a real deck. You just remove the commander though. That's the trick. Kids at home playing against Winota, remove Winota. You'll be fine. Real gamers hate the secret strat.
Arcane Signet into the Talisman of Dominance. Trigger Ob, exiling a Mayhem Devil.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very
actually good. Extremely good with Obnixilis. Yeah, no, that kind of cracks this pile wide open. You play. I don't know how many treasures are left, but
I believe there's still 7 treasures. So yeah, play the Mayhem Devil for 3. You still have access to your 7 treasures plus your Bergy Red that you net off casting the Mayhem Devil.
Every treasure is going to be a card draw.
Every treasure's a card draw, yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Extremely good. And then at least one person's going to die probably at the end of this from Obnixilis.
Yeah, we've seen no interaction so far from any of Mr. Skeletal's opponents through the Kessig, through the dockside, now into the Mayhem Devil. This might be it.
Keeping all of the treasure, and then you're going to get one more red. This is so good.
There is a Mind Break trap.
Ooh, on the Mayhem Devil?
Mind Break trap on the Mayhem Devil. Very, very interesting.
Was Boromir just sacked?
Boromir was just sacked, yeah.
Okay. And that does the is that the silence effect?
I believe so. Let me see Boromir.
These dang Universes Beyond cards.
No, I believe that's the creatures you control gain indestructible. Yeah.
Gotcha. So they're doing that to save their Esper Sentinel.
Yeah.
Notably, the ring tempts you as well. That is a part of the resolution of that ability.
Yep. I assume the Esper Sentinel becomes a ring bearer here. Silence on
Has
this
to.
Ooh.
Okay, a silence in response to the Mind Break trap. So they are effectively neutering. I'm curious what the if there's any commander damage on these opponents. With Obnixilis being 11 counters, they have 15 damage in the air. I'm curious if they can kill any of their opponents with one swing.
Yeah, me too. We're not really sure if there's any existing commander damage prior to hopping into this pod. So slow silence triggers the Esper Sentinel from Neolexor. So Neolexor drew the card off the silence.
Do you use the Slaughter Pact in response to the silence?
Ooh. Mr. Skeletal has 4 Obnixilis damage already clocked.
Okay. On who?
On Slowsty, sorry, yeah.
Okay. So one more trigger, 2 more triggers, and you can kill Slowsty with commander damage. You have so much mana. I'm curious if you Slaughter Pact the Kinnan. You're about to pass turn into them. I don't know if that's right. You would get another trigger. I don't know if that's right.
Bolas' Citadel. Off the Ob trigger.
That sucks to lose.
Yeah.
That hurts pretty badly, actually. 16 damage in the air.
That is a not. Nope, that's not. We're one off.
Yeah, you needed one more trigger, which you could have got from the slaughter packs. You can just swing for lethal now at Slowsty, though, between Bergie, Nixilis, and the Disciple of the Vault. You might lose the Disciple of the Vault in the process.
Cracking a treasure, trigger Mayhem Devil, trigger Ob.
Okay, we have a Walking Ballista. That sucks. I'm curious why you would devote resources to. Yes, that's a Walking Ballista. I'm curious why you would devote resources under a silence.
Yeah, me too. The Mayhem Devil.
Well, the Mindbreak Trap was still on the stack. So
Oh, I see.
The treasure was to try to find it triggered the Disciple of Vault trying to find like a Pyroblast or a Red Elemental Blast.
I see. There's the Bowmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you would
losing.
You should, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like losing all these cards to exile, trying to find the answer under the silence, and now they're just gonna be gone. It's like really rough. Like you can kill Slowsty with the commander damage, but I think you're right. The best line for Mr. Skeletal to at least get back to their turn, kill Slowsty, slaughter pack the cannon, and pass. You're gonna lose all this stuff in exile though, so
Or you crack your treasure while under the silence still. You get a Bowmaster. I mean, you get a little extra value. The Bowmaster replaces itself because it'll ping when it ETBs. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Feels bad doing those things under a silence effect.
Another Ob trigger. Looks like a land gets exiled.
Did they do that to get the last damage? Like, hey, kill Slowsty?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. See, those are fun politics.
Oh no. Okay, hold on. So PK is that I believe that Otawara is targeting the Ob,
Ooh, okay.
which is very interesting to keep Slowsty on board here.
Yeah, I'm curious what they hope to gain by having another opponent. Maybe they have their own dockside they're hoping to deploy.
Yeah, because I feel like with Slowsty having the Smothering Tithe and the Esper Sentinel, why keep them on board?
Unless Mr. Skeletal goes, hey, you countered my thing, I'm attacking you.
That could definitely be it, actually.
But I would have at least waited until attackers were declared.
Yeah, we're still seeing it's like it goes back to being in this online tournament, like playing for actual cash prize money. Sometimes you see these like trigger happy moments where like it's not the optimal time to be doing it or casting that spell or removing that thing, but we're in a pressure cooker, we're in an intense situation, and but you know what? We're gonna get rid of the Ob, even if it's in the main phase.
Yeah, I personally would have waited. I would have called the bluff, like, okay. Or I would have shown my hand. If I'm in first seats position, I'd be like, hey, if you attack me, I'm just gonna auto-aura it. You can't even cast spells this turn. Don't attack me. And
Yeah,
if they call your bluff, you auto-aura it and they can't cast spells this turn, and you were a person of your word, or you get your opponent killed. But
yeah, that definitely seems like an opportunity to leverage the politics. All right, going to Neo Lexor's turn here. Untap and casting. That's a Lotus Petal. That is also some Mana Crypt.
too shiny. Please no bling.
Yeah, so shiny, so masterpiece. Much wow.
All of my decks are non-foil Japanese.
You monster.
I'm just kidding. All of mine are foiled and very pretty. I was making fun of my friend Zane. His decks are all non-foil Japanese. And then if people were like, what does this card do? He's like, you can call a judge for Oracle text.
What a flex.
All right. So we have mana, that Mana Crypt and Lotus Petal. You're going to make one additional because of Kinnon's static ability. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana that we can produce. I mean, that's a Kinnon
This is a
activation.
flesh duplicate.
That was my nickname in high school.
before
Flesh
the hot dog title was crowned.
Yes. They're like, hey, there's all fleshy D, and I was like, what's up, everybody?
That has to be your new Twitter handle, Fleshy D.
I'm gonna veto that. Okay. Flesh Duplicate is getting Red Elemental blasted. That was about to be a dockside, so that's probably just saved the game right there. Because those treasures, it would have been more than I can count. I only have 2 hands, but all those being doubled would have not been good for the table. Okay, the counter is successful. Seat 1 does only have 1 card in hand, so we're probably going to see a draw and a Thrasios activation.
Yeah, what do you do now as the Kin player? Do you just hold up the mana and pass, or do you try to go for cracking the Lotus Petal?
Okay, so that's 2 mana there. Kitten's so good.
I was going to say, crack Lotus Petal for 2, play Fimage.
Pretty decent. I think a lot of people are cutting Fimage, though, for...
for Flesh Duplicate. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we have a Transmute artifact. So we can turn the Mana Vault into a Basalt Monolith, and then pay the difference with the Crypt.
So Skeletal is cracking the rest of the treasures to add Nas in response to the Transmute artifact. Holy mackerel.
Curious what they have that could stop this, but...
PK passes priority on the add Nas.
The interesting part about Transmute artifact, for all you kids and sickos at home, Transmute, the sacrificing artifact, is upon resolution of the spell. It is not as part of the cost. It's an older card, so the templating is weird. But you do not have to sack that artifact until the spell actually resolves. It is part of the resolution.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yep, so that's why Mana Vault is still there. And that's when, like, it's a very odd card, but you have the luxury of your spells are not countered yet.
Saw a One red mana in there.
1 red open for Mr. Skeletal. So we are looking for the Pyro Blast or the Red Elemental Blast. Probably stopping whatever comes first. Twin Flame, Agatha Soul Cauldron. A lot of combo pieces here. Conqueror's Flail, Valakut.
Deflecting Swat.
Final Fortune. Chromox. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm way behind you. I just got to the SWAT.
Yogswell. I don't think we're going to get there. We're at 8 life now. Oh, do we stop there?
I think you got to keep going. You're going to lose, probably.
I like this play here from Neo Vexor, right? It feels like the Flesh Duplicate was the bait for the counterspell, right? Like, the dockside was threat alone, but then having the Transmute artifact as the backup is very, very good. Yeah, we're not moving forward. That's the Adnos. So we know that there's the Deflecting Swat in hand from Mr. Skeletal, but his commander is not on board, so we're going to have to hardcast that Deflecting Swat. If there's no other interaction at the table, chat, this might be the game from the Ken player. Unless, listen, if it's not a Basalt Monolith, chat, I would be shocked. Oh, nope, it's a Basalt Monolith.
Who could have guessed?
I'd be stopping there for sure, right? Shocking. So we're still floating the mana. I don't think that PK has any interaction here. I'm not sure that Slow C does either after that Red Elemental Blast. And Skeletal wouldn't have had Nosed if Skeletal had interaction in the first place. So my gut is telling me this is game, chat. Let's see. Resolving the cut. Aj in hand.
Assuming, yes. Everybody's thinking, do they have anything for...
Do they have any? Yeah. I can feel the intensity coming through. I can feel the brace for impact. There it is. We're going to demonstrate the Basalt Monolith loop.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Got a phone call from someone random, someone who wouldn't typically call me, and I was like, Why are you calling me?
Oh yeah, that's always the Void Winnower. That's just to make sure, Void
Nope.
Winnower, Treasure Vault.
And then one, damn. Should have slaughter packed it.
There's the Psych Rift Overloaded.
Where's the colored mana coming from?
The Psych Rift Overloaded is coming from the command tower that's still untapped, but that is going to be the last source of colored mana.
Oh no, we have infinite colored mana. You make infinite mana, put it into the treasure vault, and then you have infinite treasure.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, does Disciple of the Vault have anything to do with your own artifacts ETBing? Oh,
I believe that's what we're talking about right now.
Oh, good catch, good catch.
So the Disciple of the Vault. Yeah. That is the question. I mean, is it basically just going to be like, because it's an overloaded, so you're sacrificing 7 treasure to overload the Psych Rift, so you're gonna have 7 damage to throw around, but then the Psych Rift resolves. So,
Well, you haven't made the treasure yet, so I think what you do is you use the blue for the Psych Rift, and then once the Psych Rift resolves, then you put the infinite mana into the treasure.
I see. Sequencing.
It's pretty good. I'm curious what other cards they have in hand, though.
Looks like Slowsty is Vamp Tutoring in response to the Psych Rift.
Probably in response to the Esper Sentinel trigger.
Yeah.
No, we're way past that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, the Basalt, the Transmute artifact was the first Esper Sentinel trigger. I mean, you can do it. I don't know if I don't know where the card draw is going to come from to get it from the top of your library, but you can do it.
Yeah, I don't know what they have that would allow them to draw at instant speed.
I don't think they have anything. I think the table is like we're in the conceding conversation. Yep, there we go. That's what it sounds like.
All right, what a game!
Seems like,
A seat
yeah.
4 win. I don't think we've seen seat 1 win yet today.
We have not seen a seat 1 win all day. Man, Kinnan is a deck that I have played against a few times, and it's so hard to interact with because it's so much about ability activations, which is hard to navigate. But that Void Winner is what the first time I played against a Kinnan deck, it also dropped a Void Winner, and I was like, oh, I see.
So I mean, hindsight is 2020. Probably should have slaughter packed the Kinnan.
Hey, look at that.
Damn, I'm decent at this game.
You're pretty decent at this game. Casters called it. Slaughter packed at sorcery speed or instant speed?
Slaughter pack's an instant.
Nice, okay.
But in response to the silence, since you're not going to be winning that turn anyway, Rakdos has no way to deal with this card silence. Like, you have no mental misstep, you have no counterspell, you have Tybalt's Trickery. That's like your only one spell.
Yeah.
Wow, what a game.
Oops, there it is. GG's to Kinnan. Neelixir takes the win.
Good job, Kinnan. Kinnan is a very good deck.
It's so good. It's super resilient. It's so like mana positive. It's dropping big beaters all the time. Like, yeah.
Just doubling your mana output in your command zone or increasing your mana input in your command zone is
For 2 mana.
Pretty decent.
For 2 mana. What a silly card.
Word on the street is that's pretty good.
Yeah. Anything at 2 mana that drastically increases the mana you have available, the dockside, is great. It's going to win you the game.
Yeah.
All right. We are still in round 3. Looks like we've got a little bit less than 30 minutes left in the round. Who else are we going to? Jumping back over to Michael, the Italian player. We've seen Michael on stream twice so far. In seat 1 at 2 life, which is really rough. Spies are here in seat 2 on Elevir of the Wild Court. Mint in seat 3 on Temna Krom. And then the Mr. Master in seat 4 with Rafine. Ooh, I love Rafine.
Elevir is a cool one. I think a lot of people are sleeping on that deck. It's like a Selesnya Winota.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm very interested. I was like Googling what the elevator did because it's basically like it pumps creatures per enchantments. But
Deck is very good, and we see some pretty oppressive stacks pieces on the field. I mean, the Archon of Valor's Reach, we have a Null Rod out. Sylvan Safekeeper's keeping everything safe. That and the Dread Magistrate. That's
oh
a
yeah,
frustrating board state to play through.
and the Delighted Halfling to make any legendary uncounterable. Sure, yeah.
So good. So good. Okay.
What's
Deep one?
It's like what's the best card of the year, and why is it not Delighted Halfling?
As we look at the One Ring also on the board right now, I wonder which one. Delighted Halfling made it solved some of the issues that some green decks were having. I found cEDH in a Bowmaster heavy meta. The 2 powers really relevant.
It's such a better way to like. I feel like Boseiju was filling that spot, right? Like, oh, well, the only thing I can really do here is either Vexing Shusher or Boseiju, which is not a good land anyway. But like, how do you make things uncounterable? Delighted Halfling just says like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, no stress. I got this, homie.
Yeah, I got you, boo. All right, let's see. Where are we at here?
Rafine is interesting. I don't know if I'm sold on Rafine, and I say that I've lost to Rafine before, but I'm not sold on Rafine, to be honest.
Yeah, Rafine is hard because the attack trigger is like so much the important part of it, right? Like you need to be swinging out with lots of things to gain the multiple connive triggers to get the value, but then you're leaving your board state open. Yeah, it's like fueling a reanimator strategy. Like that's what most Rafine decks I've seen have been, just pure reanimator strategy. But it's like it is technically an Esper aggro deck that can close the game out via reanimator combo.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not doubting the pilot. I think everyone here is a competent and great pilot of the deck, and there's a reason they're playing that deck. I just mean as an overall sort of meta analysis, I don't see Rafine ever outpacing something like a Tivit.
Yeah.
I understand the allure of Rafine, and again, these are good, competent pilots. There's a reason they're competing. This is more of just a generalized meta analysis.
Yeah, I agree, chat. We're not really commenting on the player. Just like if I look at Esper cEDH commanders, right? I look at Tibet, I look at Amanatu, I look at Rafine.
Ishai Tivesh.
Ishai Tevesh, yeah, not bad. I believe we're in Mint's turn here with this One Ring. Trying to find where we are in the turn order.
Yeah, I am. I thought it was GG's too, Captain World Sport. I was under the impression it looked like to me people were scooping. I do not know where we are at now.
Okay.
I am also curious what's named with Archon.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's tied with a Doomsday Pile. That's hot. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's a spicy meatball. A lot of interaction here. Misdirection, and the offer you can't refuse, and the counterspell with the Thassa's Oracle.
I'm curious if it's creatures just to keep lanes open for attacking.
I'm gonna activate the One Ring here. Yeah, I'm wondering, are we GGing to the Elevator? Just because of the board state? What are we GGing to here?
Yeah, maybe they're just drawing to see if they can find the answer.
Yeah. Chat says you can't name creatures with Archon.
Oh, I should read what cards do.
We established earlier that you can't read, and that's okay. We don't hold you at fault for it.
Yeah, I just am kind of making generalized assumptions about what cards do.
The card does what I say it does. That's called reading, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of open hand sort of gesture. There's a lot of like, Don't say there is so much open mana though, right? Men still got 4 open mana.
There's not sure. R. Smith 415. We joined this game very late in. We're kind of piecing it together as we go. They could still be under One Ring protection, which is maybe why the rest of the table hasn't conceded yet. But we joined kind of late.
Yeah, we will get you caught up, chat, when we are caught up. I'm interested in why the Italian player has just revealed the hand now. There's no other get probe on the stack. So like, what are we doing? Clearly, Rafine player also indicating like cards in hand. Feels like that is a very it's a very locked in board state on the Elevir player's side.
Yeah, that null rod is backbreaking. Did it get removed? I don't see it under the mess of everything anymore. There was a null rod. Mint
So
drew, which allowed for 2 bonus for Spicer. Okay,
so it looks
Italian.
like I think the Elevir player swung out at the Italian player, right, and took Michael off the board.
No swings into the Rafine player.
Oof. Life totals are so low.
Yeah. None of those rolls gain life with the Elevir, right?
No, they just get bigger with each enchantment you have in play. +1/+1 for each enchantment.
Yeah, bonk. That Sylvan Safekeeper is clutch as well. I mean, you have enough land that's late enough in the game where your board state's developed that you can keep your key pieces protected.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, being at 1, brutal.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain World Sports Spicer took out Italian and got seat 4 down to 1 life.
Mm-hmm. Looks like this is main phase 2 for Spicer. Plays the Exotic Orchard. Taps 2. What are we playing? Replaying the Null Rod.
Oh, okay, must have got bounced.
Yeah, I think it bounced somehow.
What is up,
Hello.
Priscilla? Thank you
Hello.
for jumping in. Good to see you. I messaged Priscilla after their tournament win or her tournament win. Absolutely killing it right now. We played in Vegas and it was a lot of fun to play, and now I'm like absolutely terrified to play against her. She has been
a wonderful weekend.
Crushing it.
Absolutely. Priscilla, was a joy to watch you play in the Mox Masters tournament as well. Looks like Mint also scoring here? No. Spicer passing turn. Mint untapping for top of turn here. I mean, Mint's in a good place live total wise for sure, but what is that? Taps 2. Is that a dockside? I swear.
That is a dockside with a null rod out.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a lot of treasure, and we're not gonna be able to do much with it until the null rod goes.
Priscilla, we missed seeing you compete today, but you'll just have to play the next one.
Yep. So much. How much more? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 8 treasure that can't be used yet. Passes to Mr. Master. Untap upkeep. 1 life. Yeah, I feel like in this moment, right? Like, is this a, as we were talking about the way that the tournament breakdown works, like, is this a thing for Mr. Master where you try to get the draw, right? Because you don't want to kingmake here at 1 life. Like, can you win at 1 life, or do you try to just draw the game instead of lose outright?
Yeah, I mean, I always am in the mindset, if I'm not in a position to win, if I can draw the game, if I absolutely cannot win, if I know definitively I cannot win, but I can play for a draw, I'm going to play for a draw. And it is in my best interest. 1 point's worth more than 0. Your tiebreakers are going to be better. I don't know what they have in hand. I don't know what they could do to save themselves. I would be talking to Mint right now and fighting for my life, going, hey, we need to work together. This is now a game of arch enemy. Is there anything we can do to deal with 3 damage? But again, it's tough. I don't know what Archon is stopping, and I don't know. There's just some things that are in the game state. Oh, it looks like, is that Galadriel Scorn? So yeah. I think
So Fimage on the
think-
stack in response, Galadriel's Scorn Dismissal.
Probably targeting their own dockside or targeting dockside.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same thing. It's a lot of mana. It's a lot of treasure, but we can't activate it because of the Null Rod.
Oh, true. There's this tax piece out.
Yeah. Interesting line, though, right? So now the Fimage enters as a copy of what? Archon, perhaps?
Yeah, it helps as a blocker.
It's a big flying blocker. Like,
Oh, but it's entering tapped?
enters tapped because of.
Something we can't see, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Elevir is just going to crush it here. Combat Step, appreciate you putting up the link for the next tournament.
Absolutely.
Stoked to hear there's going to be another one. Phyrexian Sensor.
There's a Phyrexian.
Thank
That's
you.
what the top left creature is. Phyrexian Sensor. Yep.
Got it.
Interesting in this deck.
Another stacks piece. Yippee! Stacks just means we get to play more Magic together.
It's true. It's for longer, also, right?
For
That's the other
longer.
thing.
Yeah. Longer and together. The stack story. Is that a Cyclonic Rift?
Mm,
I think that is the new old bordered art Psych Rift. Potentially.
are we overloading here? So we have 7 mana.
Wonder
I
if they're
think that
like,
I'd have playing in the Alison's Pilgrim.
kill my opponent and I'll bounce everything? I don't know.
Yeah. I'll set you back to the Stone Age. Yeah, there's an overloaded Cyclone. As for Sentinel Trigger, yeah, Cycrift resolves. Wow.
Damn. Did not expect that at all.
Absolutely did not expect that.
That new art is cool. I just don't recognize it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Back
okay, so now Mint is in a very strong lead here. You have enough mana to cast Crom and swing. So that to me seems like first priority. If Spizer's gonna recast into the board. Dudes and fighting plays. Oh my gosh, I love Spizer's play that. Yeah, you gotta replay the Null Rod.
Could have maybe floated the Gaia's Cradle mana in response as well.
Yeah.
Might be regretting that. Because that would just easily put your
replay most.
board back into, or your hand back into your board.
Yep, Sylvan Safekeeper into the Phyrexian Sensor and the Null Rod. Get those pieces back on board. And we are going to discard a lot of cards here into the cleanup step.
Brutal not tapping that Gaia's Cradle.
Phyrexian Sensor is super important here because it makes the Chrometer tapped.
Yeah, just save their own life with it.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm into this. Now this feels like it's like on the edge. We're on the wire here, chat.
Well, you can for sure kill seat 4 with your dockside.
Ironically, yeah. Does that serve you, right? I feel like it does.
I think it does, and then you just play a Crom next turn. Oh, but they have the Archon.
They have
can
the
block
Archon.
the fire.
Ooh, there's the Chain of Vapor.
Oh, and it's time called in the round, so they have to win this turn or it's a draw.
Yep.
What are they going to bounce?
Well, Chain of Vapor targets.
Yeah,
Chain of Vapor targets the Phyrexian Sensor. Play Crom, swing both. GG's. Wow. Mint taking the win there with a well-timed Cyclonic Rift. Absolutely amazing.
I think it was a draw because of the Sylvan Safekeeper.
Oh, because you can't target the Phyrexian Sensor.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow.
Dang, so close. Could taste victory.
Sylvan Safekeeper, keeping losses from being losses. Yes, that was a draw. Sylvan Safekeeper protected the Phyrexian sensor. Stopped any
Oh, and he
more
can't cast any more spells because it was a non-Phyrexian spell. Jeez. Woof.
crazy way to end that game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so definitive too, and it's like, oh, there's an onboard trick. Oops.
Oopsie doopsie. Well, chat, that is it for round 3.